The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for the Diagnostic Trading Hour with your host, Darrell Martin. Now, Darrell Martin.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. I am your host, Darrell Martin, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to give me a call. You can reach me right here at 877-927-6648. Again, that's 877-927-6648. And today we got a couple holidays going on, so of course that's going to have an effect on trading volume. And you can sort of see just the low volume in comparison, not having those extra spikes and everything else that usually happen in the morning. There's that little early spike to some people getting out of some positions and everything else and settling up. But all in all, pretty quiet morning. And so, again, we got two holidays going on today. We got, and actually, you had Japan yesterday, all right? And then, of course, we have Columbus Day today, the day that celebrated that Columbus landed in the Americas. And then you hop on over into Canada. They also have Thanksgiving Day today. So when you add all those holidays together, you're going to obviously see lighter trading volume. So be careful because the market can move dramatically on very light volume. So just always something to keep in mind. Make sure you're on top of those holidays. Of course, we keep you updated about those every day here on the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And as always, like I like to do, is go ahead and get you caught up on where the market is across the board. We got the S&P is down 6 points. We got the Russell futures down 2.7. The NASDAQ down 27, being dragged down by Apple. They had that big Foxconn strike where they make all the iPhones, and the workers are sick of the insanely detailed specifications being given to them, and there was rumors, and they tried to put out the rumors, and then eventually they just went on strike on Friday. There's been little to no comments. So that could put a delay if you haven't got your iPhone 5 yet, and maybe waiting a little while for that one. We'll see how that ends up there. And then hopefully they will treat those people right and take good care of them and get things going. Looking on over at the Dow down 26 points. We got copper down 0.0625. So some big moves in copper. That's 1.6% move, 1.65% move in copper. Looking at gold, it's down 5.4. And silver, dropping like crazy, down 0.5, a little over 0.5 there. It's 1.5% drop in silver. So silver and copper both taking a big hit today. Hopping on over to our energy sector, we got natural gas up 0.019, and we got oil, the CL contract there is up 28 cents. On our ags are pretty light. There's a lot of volatility premium built in right now, especially to the soybean market, but they really haven't moved that much today. You got corn down 4.75, and you got soybeans down 2.25. Looking on over to the euro dollar, down 66 pips. So getting pounded pretty hard there. You got the Aussie dollar up 30 pips. You got the U.S. franc up 33. You got the U.S. Canadian down 29, and the U.S. yen down 45. So that gets our market wrap, so to let you know where things are going. And like I said, we got silver and copper both just moving. And you can see just those big moves off of Friday. And like I said, it's massive. And really, most of that happened, of course, overnight. So unless you were trading Sunday evening, you missed out on the big silver move, and it's been pretty flat since. But, it just took a couple big spikes on down. And that's why you don't hold things over the weekend into the holidays. Looking on over at copper right there. You can see it's just been trending down. It's actually bounced off of that level a little bit right there. We'll take a check at that here in the diagnostic deviation levels after we look over at the fundamentals. So, like I said, we got the... let's see here. We got the bank holidays going on today. We got, like I said, and so it's not, the market isn't closed. Now, the bond market in the U.S. is closed, okay, on Columbus Day. But, of course, as you can tell, most other things are up and running. But the bond market being closed down for limited hours, and you can just hop over on the exchange's website, get exact details on that. But go ahead and check out. There's Eurogroup meetings happening today. And I guess they're not liking what's coming out. Like I said, the euro dollar, it's been heading down ever since it closed out, and hit a level right there, and it sort of bounced back up. It's just chilling out a little bit right now, but did take a big fall over Sunday night or early Monday morning. And we got the CPI over in Switzerland, and so, of course, that being the inflationary number. And it basically accounts for a majority of inflation. And that CPI number came in at expectations, higher than the last, let's see here, I'm trying to go back on the history here. It's the highest number actually they've had since April that's been reported. So, causing a devalue there with that continued inflation in the Swiss franc there. And so that's been moving on up. And devaluing there is an increase in the value of the dollar. And, of course, always be ready for this fun euro-franc trade if you don't know about it. Look at that right there. See that flat line? Now, that's days, by the way. That is not 5-minute bars. That is not the European or Asian. That's not the Asian trading session. These are days. These are months. These are weeks. So maybe days, week, months, better way to put it, right? Anyway, so Switzerland has vowed to keep this level solid. And so as it moves down, you can see people hopping on in on that train right there, 1.2. So as it comes down here, I mean, you could have a pretty nice stop. And there's some like weekly binary plays you could do and things like that if it gets low enough. And I'm looking for just a bullish move right off of that. So just keep your eye on that every day on the euro franc. Maybe even set some alerts for yourself. It drops below say 20.30 or so. Definitely to be watching that, and could have a very, like I said, tight stop loss. And if it gets down to 20.30, well, you could have a very tight stop loss. And again, 20-30 pips right down here, and that'd be the lowest low it's hit. As soon as it hit that 1.1997, they went ballistic, and they just said not dropping below 1.2 going forward. And so, anyways, interesting trade to keep in your arsenal, and best way to monitor that is either check it every day or set up an alert, or ideally both, and to see when the euro franc is dropping down like that. Also, New Zealand had its business confidence report come out, and it's going to have it come out later today. It's going to come out actually after the close, or the cash close there, which is going to be, 4 o'clock. Yeah, that'll be after the cash close, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. And so that could be a possible U.S., New Zealand trade or Aussie New Zealand trade, however you want to trade that. But the New Zealand business confidence report coming out, and that really is just, they surveyed 2,500 businesses, and they asked them about what they think about the next 6 months economic outlook. So that is ready to be a high impact event for the New Zealand dollar. And then Japan, again, going to be in the news. They're going to wake back up after their holiday, and they'll be going to 6:50 Central, 7:50 tonight. They're going to have their current account release, which is a high impact event, and is directly linked to the currency's demand. So more surplus indicates that foreigners are buying more of their currency, more yen. And so that could obviously, that is going to have an impact no matter what way you look at it. And it's been missing expectations quite a bit. It barely beat it back in August. It missed it in September. Right now they have it revised at pretty high at 0.52. So, if they miss that number, the impacts you can have on that, and there's a lot of different ways to play it. But that's a U.S. yen play for tonight for you guys and girls out there that like to be trading, the currencies at night, after the regular market hours, after the 9 to 5. And so you can always be looking at some of those currency plays like New Zealand, Aussie, yen, whenever they have their big announcements coming out for some possible moves that you can hop in on and possibly take advantage of. And, of course, news is volatile. Be careful with news. I, highly suggest using something like Nadex versus outright spot FX or futures FX, because with Nadex, your risk is completely capped. And if you don't have a Nadex account yet, just go ahead and knock that out, show you how to get one. Just hop on over here, and you can go to get to this page. Just go to TFNN.com, and you'll see the Nadex banner right here on the right side. Click on the Nadex banner. Click on Create Account. You can go from start to funded in as little as 5 minutes with as little as $100. So you can start small. Obviously, the one thing I do recommend is, be careful. People hop in there and they see these $5 risk trades and they put on 20 contracts because they're like, wow, man, I could make like $5,000 if this works. And, don't go in there and buy lottery tickets. All right, have a reason for your trade. Have a plan for your trade. Learn how to trade them. Check out our archives. We talk about them. We go through different examples and different ways to trade on Nadex. And just make sure, you're thinking about not just how much you can make, because that is the wrong way to trade. You need to be thinking about why, where. So what is the chart telling me to do? If it's about money, you're going to lose it. So money is the byproduct of trading well. Money is not the result of trading to make money. So that's the end result. Of course, that's what you want deep down inside. But as a trader, when you're making your decisions, it has to be about probabilities. It has to be about what the charts are telling you. And just trading what you see. not what you want, okay? And so something else you can do, and I highly recommend get that live account, get that going, all right, because there are some little advantages with the live account, so such as you can see the live quotes on everything. Now, you can see the live quotes in the demo account, but if somebody goes in and they're messing around with their demo account where they get $25,000 of funding money and they put just some weird fake limit order in, it can sort of jack it up or take the volume or whatever. So that way, if you're like, what's going on? Is this really happening? And you can go to the live account and you can see it. Now, how do you get a demo account? Just scroll on down to the bottom, and you'll see under Our Products, or you can click Our Products at the top, and click on Demo Account. On Demo Account, make sure to fill that in right there. And you can put in your username, first name, last name, phone, and email address. And when you do sign up for your live account, one thing we do, that's just let them know that we are big about Nadex. You know I'm big about Nadex. I'm always talking about it. Is when they ask you how you heard about us, just put TFNN, Darrell Martin, TFNN, Tommy O'Brien, TFNN, Steve Rhodes, and just let them know, hey, we're all about Nadex because we're about helping you live to trade another day. Okay, and that's why I like Nadex so much. So I've been trading for a long time, and I've had the ups and I've had the downs. And what I can tell you is Nadex has definitely helped protect me from making bad decisions, like moving stops, not placing stops, things like that. I never have to worry about a margin call. I can sleep well at night. I mean, it's all like they manage your risk. You just got to manage your quantity of risk. Okay, but if you say I'm going to risk $100, you're not risking more than $100. Well, how is that different? How is that different than where you trade anywhere else where you have a stop loss for $100? And stop losses are essential. Now, you need to be good at where you place them. You need to know how to read the markets to know where to place your stops. You need to use areas of confluence. You need to use support resistance areas, deviation levels, things like that. But you also, need to have a way to go, what can I do besides placing a stop? Well, by trading Nadex, you have a stop loss without having a stop trade. You can be down but not out, meaning you could be down $100, say if you wanted to risk a max of $100 on a trade, but you have time to be right. And so the trade could go against you. You could be down your $100, and it's going further and further and further against you. The guy to your left there, he's over here trading. He's trading the exact same trade you're trading. He's following the exact same signal, and he's out of the trade. He's lost 100. Or maybe he's still in the trade. Now he's down 200, 300, 400. And you're just sitting there, chill. You have no worries whatsoever. You're like, you know what? I had a max risk. I could take that loss if I need to. I can trade another day. I can take another trade. You're waiting. Anyways, by the end of the day, the thing comes back in your direction, and you are able to actually be profitable potentially on that trade. Or the other guy is either going to take on larger risk or could be stopped out on the trade, whereas you're not taking larger risk and you can't be stopped out on the trade. You have time to be right. And the relaxing feeling that gives you, it's funny, I've talked to so many traders about this that almost, this sounds negative, but it's really positive. If you've been trading for a while, you'll really relate to it, is it almost makes trading boring. Because you don't have that heartbeat where as soon as you get in and all of a sudden it ticks one tick against you. You don't have that going on. So, because you're not worried about being stopped out and having to make a decision what to do next. Anyways, hold on right there. We'll check out the other fundamentals and we'll go up on the deviation levels. Be right back after this commercial break.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Darrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
80% of traders fail because they don't know when to get in or out of a market, and all because no one taught them how to read the signs. You see, the stock market has a universal language called Japanese candlesticks, and each day, the buyers and sellers, the bulls and bears, go to work and build signs. This language has been around for thousands of years, and it's easy to learn. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters Show, and I'm a master sign builder. Download my free report, Candlesticks, The Speed of Trust, on the homepage of TFNN.com for one of the best-kept candlestick secrets. I'll also be conducting an online course Friday, October 19th, to teach you the language of the market's sign builders. You'll learn the best entry and exit techniques and strategies that will create extraordinary rewards. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you like, because trading or investing without learning this language is like running a red light. It's an accident waiting to happen, and there's no airbags or seatbelts. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Hey there! Welcome on back to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And we're going over just some things about Nadex and about the reports that are coming up. And want to go in and talk about a few other things as well. So that's Monday, wrapped up Monday. Looking on, what do you got coming up this week you need to be aware about? Or aware of. And tomorrow, the biggest thing happening in the morning is going to be Draghi. So the European Central Bank, sort of the Bernanke, right, of Europe, is going to be talking. And not the exact same, but pretty close to the same thing as our Fed there. And he's the head of the ECB. He controls the short-term interest rates. And basically, everybody's going to look at everything he says in detail. And he's actually going to be testifying before a committee on economic and monetary affairs of the European Parliament. And it's going to be in Brussels. And you can actually check that out. Let's see here. I'll find it for you. ECB.int. Okay? ECB.int. And you can go over there. You can check it out and see what all they have to say. Their latest release. It's going to be in their press section here. And, come on, they got to have, there we go, press. Okay? So on press, you'll be able to see the latest press releases and key speeches as they're put out there. And there ought to be a very easy press release. There we go. So there we go. The press releases, and they'll be launching the press releases. You'll be able to see that in there. And any comments that he's making, stuff like that. So anything there's monetary policy. So save that, bookmark that, okay, ECB.int. So that way you can read for yourself versus just hearing what other people think about it. You can listen to what they have to say, but you can also read it and you can see the details in it. And as you're a trader and as you're growing, you want to learn to see what are these events that are being said. What do people say about them? Are they right? Are they wrong? And how could you have seen it differently? Okay, so make sure to go back and just look at the reports, understand the reports, and it's great to learn how other people think about those reports. At the same time, you really want to, progress in your trading, grow in your trading, and that means understanding how to read the news. And what is the long-term impact of what's being said? Such as one of the things that I mentioned last week was that you could go in and just look at some of the things that were passed last year. Look at the law. Kiyosaki has a book, one of the books he released, I don't know, a couple of years ago, called New Rules of the Rich. And in that book, he talks about the way that he's made so much money. What his rich father taught him was to look at the law, and that will show you what is going to happen in the future. And by looking at that law, then you can, whatever's being passed by governments, then you can position yourself in a place to take maximum advantage of that. Well, one of those laws that was passed, whenever they, extended the budget and all that other stuff that they did to, basically make this whole fiscal crisis thing move forward, and at the end of the year to raise the ceiling cap and just all the stuff they had to do, is the Republicans said, hey, we want to cut costs. So the Democrats said, okay, we'll let you cut cost. We want to cut off all unemployment claim benefits to the minimum amount effective in September. And they're like, wow, you're actually cutting a welfare type benefit. I mean, that's not welfare, but And they're like, yeah. And they're like, okay. So they agreed to it. They didn't really think about the fact that that means that in October, that would drop the unemployment rate number. And because all these people drop off the roll call. And so knowing that, you can know, hey, unemployment rate's going to drop, but it's not going to be real. It's sort of like when Tommy talks about, real price, real volume, and not a real report. And as you saw, the market went up on Friday, but then it just gave it all back, and it's down, right now. And so it was a great number. And you read all these news things going, wow, I can't believe it's 7.8. What a surprise. What a shock. Where'd that come from? How did nobody call that? And it's because it's not a real number. It's just the roll call dropped. And that was law that affected a news report, and you knew when it was coming out. So that impact ought to be carried over into at least next month. And of course, then you got what's going to happen. Holiday hiring is going to happen. So all these people are going to start taking on jobs, right, in November. And so, that'll carry us through a few months. But it's the drop in the unemployment, basically how many weeks people can file for unemployment, that dropped the unemployment rate so fast. And that was law telling you about a future event so you can position yourself. And there's a lot of different ways you can position yourself on unemployment and things like that, whether it be long or short or whatever. But one of the sort of the cool things that you can do, and I don't really go into this that often, but I think this might be a fun time to go into it. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull up, I'm on Nadex, okay? They have an event, range of markets, and click on events. And then go over here, and you're actually going to see non-farm payrolls. And under non-farm payrolls, you can actually go in and you can place trades based on non-farm payrolls and on the weekly jobless claims number and on the Fed funds rate. Now, the Fed funds rate, obviously, that's going to be a pretty dead binary for a while. But you do have, the other ones, the jobless claims coming out every single week. And check out those binaries. They're sort of interesting. Play with them in your demo account. Make sure you understand them. But it's sort of a fun way that you can set yourself up to be in a position to take advantage of reports like this. Anyway, stay right there. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. TFNN and Great Panther Silver have teamed up for another exciting silver giveaway. The Great Panther Silver Halloween giveaway will be taking place at the end of October, and for 3 full days, we'll be giving away silver coins and bars every hour from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. to one lucky winner randomly chosen. There's no purchase necessary. For more information and to fill out your registration form today, simply visit the front page of TFNN.com where you'll find all the details. October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll choose one lucky winner that will receive a silver coin or bar courtesy of Great Panther Silver. Winners will be announced live on the air each hour for 3 full days. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to win free silver from TFNN and Great Panther Silver. Register today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and for more information on Great Panther Silver, you can click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex, symbol GPL, or on the Toronto Stock Exchange, symbol GPR.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right there. How is everybody doing out there? So we were talking about the ECB. Also, I was talking about unemployment claims, how to play those over on Nadex, and you can go to nadex.com. And you can go to unemployment claims. There's some basic stuff on there. We'll do some walkthroughs on this. But on the unemployment claims, the jobless claims report, what's cool about this one comes out every Thursday. So and this is one of the things about news, that's if you can grasp how to trade it, okay, that's pretty cool. You know when the market will move. All right? And if you use things like deviation levels, if you use things, support resistance areas, stuff like that, then you can have an idea of how far it will move. Now, you don't know, unless you're looking at maybe some of the legal stuff like I was talking about and the ramifications that has in the future, like the laws being passed that affected, employment reports and all that. But you don't know which way it's going to move. So that's when you can go and you can do straddles, you can do strangles. Now, maybe you want to go, you know what, I think it's going to go up. So I do want to go long, but I want to hedge myself in case it does something opposite of what I think. And so you can either do a straddle, all right, where you buy a spread, sell a spread, buy a binary, sell a binary, or the other option is that you could go in and you could maybe hedge yourself with a binary on the jobless claims report. And so, like it says, hey, there's different reports, and the next report is going to be coming out here on October 11th. And so if we go in, and let's just look at last week over here. Let me show you this. I'll go in and go back a week and pull it up. And unemployment claims right here. So 367. So see, that was the reported number. It shows, hey, last week was reported at 367,000. So basically what it says is that number represents an increase of 4,000 from the previous week's revised figure of 363. The 4-week moving average is 375,000. So it's below the 4-week moving average. And, what does that mean, et cetera. So all that's right there. And you can go to the contract specs on it, and you can, read about the different ones and how they work. Basically what happens is they come out monthly, okay? And there's actually several, or not monthly, they come out weekly because it's the jobless claims. And you're able to trade them. So when can you go in and trade these binaries? Well, from 3 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday through Thursday from 6 to 5, Thursday to Friday, 6 to 4:15. And you go in there and you'll just see them under the events on binaries. So what I'll do is I'll log in to a Nadex account over here so you can just see where these are at and show you how this works here. And they're an interesting thing to trade. They're I'm not saying just hop on there with your live account. Definitely play with it with your demo. But you can go over here to events binaries. You can see there's jobless claims. It's a weekly event. So we don't see the other ones because we don't have non-farm payrolls or Fed funds rate coming out this week. And I can click on the jobless claims right there, and I can see where they're at. And so they'll open up here, and I'll be able to trade them here in the next couple of days and actually go on there and play the report. And when I do that, okay, then what I'm doing is I'm basically making an estimation. So we'll see the numbers come out, and it says they're going to expire basically that morning. Okay, so they're going to not expire, but you can't really get in. But they'll expire like 5 minutes before the report comes out. So basically, the report comes out, boom, done, over. All right, and remember, everything on Nadex is a true or false statement. All right, and so if I think it's going to be greater than or equal to 350,000, that's a buy. If I think it's going to be less than, that's a sell. And but you have to go in and they're an interesting thing, and I think I'll put a training together to teach you how these work because there's something new. A lot of people haven't traded them here in the U.S. They're not new outside the U.S. They have them on all sorts of things. They even have them on like political stuff, and that might be a fun show we'll do too. I'll show you the political binaries out there that you can trade and how they work. But it's just it's. Again, this isn't something you go in and you go just like crazy with. But here's the idea behind the news binaries, is they're used for hedging, okay? So they're not you could go in and just go directional, but really they're used for hedging. So, you have a long position, you want to hedge in case that report comes out way different than expected. You're not looking at the 50-50 mark, you're looking at, well, what if it comes in really high? Well, the market could definitely drop. So if you have a long position, that gives you a little extra hedge. And, or what if it comes in really low, then the market just fly up and maybe you're short. So it's another way to hedge. Now, you can also hedge directly using the spreads and binaries, get a little cleaner hedge. But, it's just something that you can do and play with. And as we get closer to that, I'll bring them up, and I'll do a training on that this week so you can sort of learn how they work. So probably either tomorrow or Wednesday. And but that's sort of fun just to check out and a couple of the economic reports they have on there. Now, other things that we have that we can look at, as far as what's coming out this week. And obviously that one's coming out on Thursday. We were looking at Tuesday. We got the PMI over in Britain happening at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. And so they survey purchasing managers. Basically, what do they think about business? They go into inventories, new orders, prices, supply, delivery, employment. The whole gambit of things. And then let's see here. We're going to have a 10-year bond auction. Britain, that's not going to be a big deal, really. They're not expected to be unless there's some huge rate. But they really haven't had any major issues at all. So we don't, at least comparatively to the rest of the bunch. And so then the next thing that we're going to be looking at here, let's see. Actually, you know what? There we go. We have French government balance. That'll happen in the morning. That shouldn't be a big event. So the big event Tuesday, ECB Draghi, and then the manufacturing production over in Britain. And I was looking at a bond report, but I was incorrect on that one. So the bond report's not tomorrow, but the manufacturing production in Britain is tomorrow. And that's big. It's basically how much are they doing? What's the business cycle look like? How's that going to affect employment? And so that is going to be your big trade. That is at 3:30, 4:30 Eastern tomorrow morning. And so that's going to be your solid pound trade there. If you're looking to trade, if you're an early morning trader, you're an early riser, you like to trade and get up in the morning and trade maybe before you go to work, or maybe you just love to trade, or man, some of those traders out there, they just trade 24 hours a day. So, but if you trade those hours, that's your British news announcement that ought to have the biggest impact. And of course, besides that, an hour earlier you got Draghi speaking. That'll affect, of course, the euro. That'll affect everything. But just depending upon how much he says or doesn't say. And then over, let's see, tomorrow night. So got the U.S. franc is going to be in the spotlight again. And they're going to have the Swiss Chamber of Commerce, or the SNB chairman over there. And he is going to be speaking at the Swiss National Bank. Okay? So the SNB is the Swiss National Bank, and the chairman is Jordan, and he's going to be talking, let's see, what is his new thing? He's speaking at the Swiss Chamber of Commerce and in Japan's 30th anniversary luncheon in Tokyo. So you're going to be talking in Tokyo, making an announcement, and you can always go over for Swiss National Bank. So here's another one for you. I gave the ECB.INT, and I'm sure you have the, federalreserve.gov for here. But for the Swiss National Bank, it's snb.ch. And so you can go over there, and you can check out press releases and everything else and stuff that's coming up, and they post it up here on the website. And there's little tools as far as if you're a Swissy trader. So whatever currencies you're trading, it's good to know what that national bank's website is. So that way you can just see what information is available that might be helpful for me to do any kind of analysis or just to be aware of what's coming. So is there a bus about to cross the road before I walk into it? I might want to look both ways. So that's just a sort of a helpful thing to check out there. But snb.ch, save that one. That is the Swiss National Bank's website. ECB.INT, that's the European Central Bank's website. And federalreserve.gov is the Fed's website here in the U.S. And so we got that one down. And then let's see here, a couple other things for you. I guess we've been talking a little bit about the, I'm trying to see if we can get a yen link for you. So I'll pull one of those up next time we got a yen rate coming out. They like to make a lot of announcements, of course. And then looking over here, we got Wednesday. So what's happening Wednesday? Wednesday, pretty quiet. We have a few things happening. We'll have our 10-year bond auction here in the U.S. The Beige Book is coming out. That's a medium impact event, but it's not really a number-based event. So as long as there's no big surprises out there. Tarola is speaking. That should not be a big event. He's just talking about financial stability and regulation. But should not necessarily be just a big market mover all in of itself. But, he's one of the key members, voting and everything else. He's talking at 3:30 Central, so that'd be 4:30 Eastern. So obviously that's going to be after the main, cash market there is closed out. So it won't be obviously a big market moving again because the markets will basically be quiet during that little gap hour there. And then after that, that's really it. On Wednesday, though, you have some Aussie plays coming up, okay? So on Wednesday, you got the employment change report coming out. Aussie dollar against 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. And you got the unemployment rate coming out at the exact same time, okay? So employment change and unemployment rate. And the employment change is, the estimate right now is it'll come in at 4.4 thousand, and the unemployment rate will come in at 5.3. Now, the Australian dollar has been suffering a little bit lately, okay? They had to lower their interest rates, as you may recall last week. So they're starting to feel the squeeze a little more. They've been a very, very strong currency. They've actually been taking on different countries. China, stuff like that, have actually started to store Aussies because they're basically their high interest rate compared to everybody else. And but they're starting to fill it. And so you can get that information over there, ABS. All right, so here's another web link for you if you want to save all these. It's like your news links. But on the Australian Bureau of Statistics website, abs.gov.au. And so you can go there and pull information off their site. And, they have, of course, all their press releases and, everything else, news, media, whatever. And you can, they have a lot of key economic indicators or census data, statistics, whatever. And but you can pull all that information up and, see what's coming out and things like that on here. So they, some interesting information on their website. It can definitely, get time consuming because you start looking at all of it. But just make sure you're staying focused and you're looking at, what matters most, and that's what they're about to report on, right? So with that Aussie dollar, you got that Aussie dollar play. What is the difference between the employment change and the unemployment rate? Well, part of it is in the word, right? Unemployment versus employment. But employment change is basically it's released. I'm trying to say it comes out right after the month ends. So like this Monday, it's out now. And when that number comes out, it's the change in the number of people that were employed last month. So it's basically has that number went up or down, are more or less people employed since last month in Australia. And that number has, they got hit really hard. In September, they thought it was going to be 5.1 thousand, like a positive improvement, and it was negative 8.8 thousand. All right. Now, the month before that, they thought it was going to be 10 and it was 14. The month before that, they thought it was going to be 0.2, but it was negative 27,000. So they're really starting to feel that 1-2 punch. And if that continues, that is going to, of course, weaken the Aussie. And that's the employment change number. At the same time, so that's the number of people that have basically been able to, as it went up or down on the people that are employed. The other one is the percentage of workforce that aren't employed. Okay? And that number has actually dropped a little bit. So now, again, all these numbers, as we know, can be a little bit manipulated, right, by people dropping off different roll calls and things like that. But it was expected to be 5.3% the last couple months. It came in at 5.2. 2 months ago, came in at 5.1, which is good. That's a number you want to go down, unemployment rate. Employment change is a number you want to go up. And so what you're going to be looking at, if you're looking at these two news announcements when they come out, is ideally they say the same thing, okay? Meaning like the unemployment rate goes down and the employment change goes up. Then, it's going to really have a strong effect on the Aussie getting stronger. Or you're going to look at, are they both positive or negative? So is the unemployment rate going up and the employment change number going down? The hard part is when they come in and they conflict. So when basically one says, hey, it's good, and one says, hey, it's bad, then that creates a lot of choppiness. And that can be more difficult. But again, you can go in and you can do straddles. And let's say you're doing binaries. And on the binaries, you go in and you buy, some maybe like a $10 or $20 binary. You sell a $10 or $20 binary. But then here's the key. Here's the huge key, okay? Put in your take profit. And if they conflict, what's sort of cool is you could go in, let's say you put in a take profit at $30 on both sides, okay? Or maybe even $40 on both sides. The thing flies down, flies up, flies down, flies up. You can actually get both filled in that volatility if they conflict. And so that's just one of the many ways that you can trade the binaries or even the spreads on that. Binaries move really fast, especially if it's close to expiration. So you want to get one that's going to expire as close as possible to 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern time as you can. Like a 10 o'clock expiration. So that way the time's ticking down on it, and that'll make it more volatile for you. Now, looking over, we got also the G7 meetings are coming up. They're going to be starting Wednesday. And the G7, who is the G7? If you're not aware of that, G7 is basically that big industrialized nations. And it's not all of them, but it's just, their group. They're finance ministers. And they got their little group called the G7. They're not a formal, political body or anything like that. But what it is it's Canada, Italy, France, Germany, Japan, the UK, and the United States. They close the meetings to the press, but they do come out and make speeches in between. So we'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those little G7 things. You'll be seeing little news reports coming over the wire as they come out and talk to people. So there's not necessarily a direct impact, but there is an indirect impact based on good or bad things that are coming out of the meeting. And are they saying, hey, things are getting better, or wow, we really have a lot of work to do, or wow, things are going to be horrible. So. Like one of the things that came out, this wasn't a G7 meeting, but the World Bank released that they're revising the Asian GDP down, the whole growth of the market down. I want to say like 0.4% lower than what they had it before, and they think it'll be even like much lower, like several points lower, not several percent, like not point something lower, but points lower next year. And so that's obviously had a drag on the market this morning. Now, looking on over, what do we have on Thursday? Of course, the G7 still going, day 2 of that. We also are going to have trade balance in Canada and trade balance here in the U.S. and unemployment claims. So stay right there. We'll be right back after this break. We'll wrap those up and keep it going.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to check out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And we're just doing a wrap-up on the news this week. So like I said, on Thursday, a big report's going to be the trade balance report. That's going to come out of both Canada and the U.S. at the same time, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Trade balance is basically the difference in imported versus exported goods. And if the number is greater than what they expect it to be, that's strong for the currency. So, that's a number that you can play. On Thursday, of course, at the exact same time, they're going to have unemployment claims, and that is obviously going to have a big impact as well. And that's, of course, how many people, recently, are still, filing for unemployment. And China will also have its trade balance number coming out on Friday. And there's supposed to be a scheduled time, but it gets leaked all the time. So it's really not a number you can trade on the, at a certain time. But anyway, so that one's coming out. And then the IMF is also going to have some meetings. So we talked about the G7. Well, the IMF is going to start having some meetings. Like every big organization wants to have meetings nowadays. So Thursday and Friday, the IMF will be meeting and making all their, whatever announcements out there. And another big thing to keep up with, Thursday is the federal budget balance report. Okay? And basically that's the difference between the federal government's income and the spending that it did during the previous month. And so this is going to be, a very important number because that's posted on the Department of Treasury's website, so treasury.gov, and that'll come out, and you'll be able to see all the stuff on there. So there's another domain for you to save in your browser there, treasury.gov. But this has a lot to do with the fiscal, not the fiscal cliff so much as part of it, of course, the whole tax thing coming up on December 31st, January 1st. But the other thing is just, are they going to run out of money? Basically, are we going to hit the debt ceiling? And yeah, we're going to hit it. So we're going to hit it in December. This is going to be the big forecast on how soon are we going to hit it. Okay? And I think last month they estimated that the difference was that we were net negative 156 billion. Well, it actually came in net negative 190 billion. So worse than they thought it would be. And so now they're only projecting negative 4 billion deficit for last month. And so that number comes in a lot worse than expected. Then, of course, that means that we're just that much closer to hitting that debt ceiling. And a whole battle during an election, time. I mean, does it happen before or after the election? How much does the Fed have to step up and the Treasury have to do their games? And just how bad is it going to be? So really you want to make sure that you're ready for that one. Again, that's 1 o'clock. And it's one of those things that's really usually not a big event, but since we're coming up on a debt ceiling crisis right now, and this happened back in July, of last year as well. But we're coming up on that crisis, so be ready for it. 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern, the federal budget balance report will come out and basically let us know how close we are to hitting that debt ceiling before they're going to have to raise it or extend it, or I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm sure they'll have to come to some agreement on an extension, or we're going to have a whole shutdown issue again. And they do not want that in the news right before the election. But who knows, man? They may push it. I mean, there's just no telling. And then to wrap it on up, on Friday we got the PPI report, and again, that's consumer inflation. That number is coming out. They're expecting 0.8, which actually will be a drop in inflation. So, and it was higher than it was expected to be last month. It was at 1.7 versus 1.1. And so that's basically, our prices going up that are finished goods is what it is. Okay, so when it's ready to be provided, sold by the producer, provided to the public, is that price going up? And yeah, it's going up. And been pretty consistently going up the last few months. And then we got the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report on Friday at 8:55 a.m. And they surveyed 5,000 consumers. They asked them about basically how do they feel. They rate the level of current and future economic conditions. So that number has actually been ticking up. We'll see if it continues to tick up now that we've been oscillating here at this point and all this other news coming out. So it'll be interesting to see what that number does. It's 8:55 on Friday. Y'all have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow right here in the Diagnostic Trading Hour. Go ahead and stay tuned for the Power Trading Hour.